Hello guys, welcome to this channel. In this video we talk about the reinfection and we talk about the reactivation. Okay, is the reinfection possible or not, or is the reactivation possible or not? It's about the COVID-19. This video is talk about the COVID-19 coronavirus, and we talk about the is this reinfection happens again or not. Okay, so stay with me and know about this video and know about this reinfection and reactivation. So first of all, we understand when the virus comes inside the body, what happens inside the body when the virus makes the entry. Okay, then we finally understand the reinfection and the reactivation. Okay, it's about the COVID-19 virus. Okay, first of all, we understand when the virus comes inside the body, what happens actually. Okay, after that, we understand what happens to the COVID-19. It may be possible, it may in sometimes it may possible the reinfection and reactivation or not. Okay, so first of all, we understand the mechanism of the virus. When the virus comes inside the body, what happens. Okay, so let's assume this is the body. Suppose this is the body. Okay, this is the person. It's infected by virus. Okay, this is the virus infected to this person. What happens actually in this body? The virus detected by some cells. That's the first of all starts the immunity. That's called the innate immunity. Okay, so when this virus comes inside the body, there are some special cells. Okay, like macrophages. Okay, these are the APCs, antigen presenting cells. Okay, there are the macrophages. There are the neutrophils. There are the dendritic cells. These cells capture the virus. Okay, suppose this is the macrophage cell. Okay, antigen presenting cell. What happens when this virus, let's assume the COVID-19. Okay, so this is suppose this is the virus. This macrophage goes and engulf this virus. Okay, what happens inside the macrophage? This macrophage engulfs the virus. Okay, bring inside the virus. What happens here? The macrophage destroys it. Okay, the macrophage, inside the macrophage there are specific cells, there are specific molecules present inside the macrophage. That's called the MSC class 2. Okay, what happens now? When the macrophage engulfs this virus and destroys, there are present MSC class 2. The job of the MSC class 2 is to present to the rest of the body the pieces of the virus or pieces of the pathogen. Okay, suppose now this is the pieces of the virus. Okay, so this is here is the MSC class 2. What happens? The macrophage here, the piece of the virus, okay, loads to the MSC class 2. The MSC class 2 shows to the rest of the body. This is the virus, this is the piece of the virus, or this is the piece of the pathogen. Now what happens? There are another cell, that's called the T cell. Okay, T cell. The T cell comes, the T9 cell comes, or T0 cell comes and bind to this. Okay, this is the T cell, or this is the T0 cell. Okay, so when it makes a bond to the MSC class 2, the T cell, the T naive cell, turns into the T helper cell, TH2. Okay, so the TH2, T helper cell, sends the message to the B cell. Okay, by the help of some chemicals that's called the cytokines. There are some special cytokines present like IL-4, IL-5. So the TH2, this T helper cell, sends a message to the B cell. Okay, it says here is the infection or here is the virus. So this T cell sends the message to the B cell, to the next cell, that's called the B cell. What happens now? The B cell turns into the plasma cell. Okay? When it turns into the plasma cell, it produces antibodies. Okay? So this cell produces antibodies. So what happens? There was the virus captured by the macrophage. The macrophage destroys the virus and shows to the rest of the body by the help of MHC molecule. Here was the virus and I destroyed it. This is the piece of the virus. What happens next? The T cell comes and makes the bond with the MHC molecule 2. Okay, the T cell, this is called the T naive cell or T0 cell. The T cell converts into the TH2 cell, T helper cell. Okay, it sends to the message the B cell. That's the B cell converts into the plasma cell. The plasma cell produces the antibodies. It's the job of this is the whole thing when the virus comes inside the body or when the pathogen comes inside the body. Okay, so what happens now? These antibodies, these are the specific antibodies. Okay, they go and attach to the virus particles, attach to the virus which are present inside the body. Okay, now here is the thing. Now the antibodies, when the same virus, okay, or when the same pathogen makes entry again into our body or into the body, what happens? There are also present the antibodies. But what is the lifespan of the antibodies? That's the question here. What is the when, for example, the virus makes entry after a few days or after a long time? What happens now? The same pathogen, the same virus makes the entry again, but after so many days or after a week, after a year, what happens now inside the body? Because that virus makes earlier the entry, and they are present the antibodies. But what happens now when, for example, the virus or the same pathogen makes the entry after a year? What happens now? Is there present the antibodies or not? But this whole process takes almost 8 to 10 days. Okay? Now, when the same virus, but this antibodies lifespan. First of all, we talk about the lifespan of the antibodies. Okay, so the antibodies lifespan is 1 to 3 months. Okay, but as we said, then the antibodies will remain there for a long time. But here we said the antibodies may remain only 1 to 3 months. So here the question arises: if the antibodies remain only 1 to 3 months, then how can we say the antibodies may remain for a long time? Here the question arises. So what happens actually? These antibodies, the lifespan of these antibodies is 1 to 3 months. Okay, if the antigen or if the same virus comes again after 4, 5, after a month, but there are present the antibodies. The antibodies recognize the same pathogen and destroy the virus or pathogen. Okay, but after a year, when the same pathogen makes entry after a year, what happens now? Because the antibody's lifespan is only 1 to 3 months. So what happens? Actually, the B cells, there are present the B cells. These antibodies are not live for a long time. They live 1 to 3 months, and after the 3 months, they decay or they destroy. Okay, but these B cells makes the copies. Okay, so for example, these B cells makes the memory B cells. Okay, so these B cells makes the copies of the B cells. That's called, those B cells are called memory B cells. When a same virus makes the entry again after a year, after 2 years, these memory cells are present here. And these memory cells are recognize the same pathogen or same virus. They go and capture the virus and destroy the virus or pathogen. Okay, but what's the lifespan of these B cells? Okay, what is the lifespan of these B cells? Normally, these B cells or remain almost 2 to 3 years. Okay, it's actually when the SARS-CoV first outbreak, when in 2003, what happens that time? These memory cells remain 2 to 3 years. But in COVID-19, we do not yet. Okay, in COVID-19, we cannot say the lifespan of the B cells or the lifespan of the B cells. Okay, so it's the new virus. The studies are ongoing, but we cannot say that the B cells in this COVID-19, the B cells may remain 2 to 3 years, or may remain 1 to 2 years, or may remain few days. We cannot say. Okay, but this is the whole process when the virus comes. Now come to the reinfection. What's called the reinfection? Reinfection means if we talk about the reinfection means when a person, okay, for example, here is a person. The person is asymptomatic. Here we talk about the reinfection. Okay, for example, here the person is asymptomatic. Okay, the person is happy, the person has no infection, the person has no symptoms. Okay, but it's earlier it has impacted by, let's suppose, COVID-19. But after some time it recovered from this COVID-19, but now the test comes negative. Okay, it's asymptomatic, it has no infection now, it has no symptoms, it is not like that symptoms which can recognize it has the COVID-19. Okay, now the person has fit. Okay, but in this person, there are present the antibodies, there are present the B cells, memory B cells. Okay, there are present because this person is infected already earlier. It has infected by COVID-19, but now it's immune. Okay, it has antibodies, it has memory B cells. But what happens? Here is another person. Now this person is fit. Okay? It has no infection, it has no symptoms like that, which can recognize it has the COVID-19. But now, here is another person, which is infected by COVID-19. Okay? Can this person transmit the disease to this person or not? Okay? For example, when this person transmit the disease to this, or COVID-19 transmit to this person has COVID-19 and transfer to this person, that's called the reinfection. But this person, in the case of COVID-19, the person is fit. Okay, it's immune. It has infected by COVID-19 earlier, but it recovered after some time by the COVID-19. But now it's asymptomatic. It has no symptoms like that, which can recognize it has COVID-19. But here is another person which can transmit to this to the COVID-19 to this, but this person is immune. It has the antibodies. It has the B cells. So here in the, if we talk about the in the COVID-19, there is not the possibility of the reinfection. Okay, because we talk on the vista, the mechanism of the, as I show here, on the basis of that mechanism, we can see that the reinfection cannot be possible because there are antibodies present, there are B cells present. Okay, this person now become immune. Okay, so in COVID-19 case, we cannot say maybe happens because this is the new virus. We have not the, but we have not the evidence. Okay, maybe happens because this virus is the new virus. Maybe it's the exception case. The virus can be infected again. Now the reactivation, in reactivation process. What happens in the activation process? So the person, this person is now clear. The tests are now negative, comes negative, and the person is free from the COVID-19. But what is the reactivation? The virus is present inside this person, the COVID-19, but the COVID-19, the virus is hidden. Okay, hidden, some of the tissues are present, maybe some of the cells. Maybe there is the present in this COVID-19, but can it reactivate? Can this virus again reactivate? But the person has antibodies against this virus, against B cells. Okay, so can the virus reactivates again inside the body? Okay, so what happens in this case, in reactivation case? When a virus mutated enough, maybe it activates. We cannot say that it cannot activate because this virus is totally new. We have not the more information yet. We can say that the virus cannot be reactivated. Maybe, but on the basis of studies, the reactivation is not possible. Okay? But in this case, in COVID-19, we cannot say that the reactivation maybe happen or the reactivation maybe not happen. We cannot say yet. Okay? But as I show here, the whole, as I give you the whole overview about the virus, when the virus comes inside, what happens inside. As there some cases comes South Korea, some cases comes China, of the reinfection and reactivation. But maybe there are some things such as, I will show you. For example, maybe the first one we can say maybe there are the test problem. When we do the test of the COVID-19, the person is fit, or the test shows that it's negative, but the person maybe have the symptoms or maybe have the present this COVID-19 virus. Maybe there is a test failure. Because how can we say there are the test problem? Because the earlier test that in that test there are 50% sensitivity. Okay, only 50% sensitivity that virus. Maybe the test shows only 50%. Maybe there are present the 50% remaining in the body, or in the while we can take the sample. Okay, the test shows only 50%. And same person when comes again, and the new tests which comes now, they have the very high sensitivity, and they show the person has positive. Okay, so there is the one problem that there we can say that there are the test problem. Okay, they detect finally the person has positive. The person has the person is now positive by the new test. Because in new test there is a very high sensitivity in new kits, but maybe there are the present some old kits which has low sensitivity 50%, but there are the 50% remaining. So that's the one case. Okay, so that's the one thing maybe happen or maybe not happen. Okay, now next one. The person is free from now COVID-19. The doctor said him, you can go now, discharged, and the person goes home. Okay, but the person is carrier. Okay, now the person cannot. The carrier means carrier. The carrier means the person shows no symptoms. Okay, so the person shows in this phase, the carrier phase, the person cannot show the symptoms of the COVID-19. Okay, so same test. This test, maybe the older test which has only 50% sensitivity, the same test happens again in this carrier, and this test shows the person is negative. Okay, but the person is carrier. Okay, and the same person after some time, when they start new testing, maybe the person comes now positive. Okay, because this person is the carrier. Okay, so there are many things which can, but about the COVID-19 we have no full of the information. We have no full information about this COVID-19. Maybe it may be happen or it may be not happen. But according to the studies, the reactivation or reinfection cannot occur. Okay, because as I show you here, the all process of the virus or the pathogen, when the virus comes inside the body, what happens. So if we think according to that, the reinfection and reactivation cannot occur. But maybe in this process, in COVID-19, we cannot say. Maybe the reinfection or reactivation occurs. Okay, so I hope you like this video. If you like this video, enjoy this video, or share this video, comment this video, and do not forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.